Use? Well, we'll help you work it out. Join me, Cheryl Go,
And me, Chew Wui Lynn.
on Work It. We'll bring you the latest on business and career matters, as well as food and lifestyle trends.
Work it.
Mondays to Fridays
10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
on CNA 938.
You better work.
This is Work It on CNA 938. I'm Chew Wui Lynn. If you're not currently in a job but have specialized skills and you're looking to earn additional funds, maybe fractional work is something you could consider. Fractional work is when someone works for a fraction of the time of a full-time employee. But how is it any different from freelancing? Well, here to tell us more is Cassandra Ong. She is founder of the fractional marketing agency known as OtterHalf. Cassandra, thanks so much for joining me on Work It today. You're in a fractional marketing agency. Does that mean you're in fractional work yourself?
Yes, I am. Hi, Waylin. Very happy to see you. And yes, I am myself in fractional work. In fact, maybe a little bit of context. So I help business in their marketing and partnerships efforts. And when businesses engage a fractional marketer or team, they typically get access to experienced marketer on a part-time basis. So yes, I am myself in that space. But I guess being the founder and apart from the daily operations of the company, I do support clients with strategy as well as partnerships work.
Okay, so this is not a new concept, fractional work. You said it's been around from the time you were working for that American company.
Yes, I would say the term is new in Asia especially, but I mean, of course, in US it's been some time already. In fact, because for me, I have been quite big into the fractional leadership community in Singapore. There's a community in Singapore that has that, and I joined the community sometime last year in December, so it's been a year already. And when I joined, it was around less than 100 members in the group, but now we are already at 850 plus members. Yeah, if only I can bring that that growth for my clients almost 8.5x, it will be amazing.
Well, what does the fractional community in Singapore do?
I guess it helps two groups of people, right? For one, for people who are in between jobs, right? For people who probably got affected through layoffs or being restructured out of the company, and they still couldn't find something, then that's when they have this community to support them, because there must be somebody. I mean, in fact, not must, but we realize that there are people who actually have faced the same situation. And they are able to relate and provide guidance. I think that's one. I think the other one is also creating awareness that businesses now have this option, right? There's this pool of people that they don't really need to offer them full-time work. They can actually offer them get experience CXO, because this fractional community is not only marketers, but they are they have COO, CHRO, and stuff like that, and roles like that. So the businesses are able to access experienced hires at a part-time basis. So yeah, it's really a community that really supports people generally in the fractional leadership positions.
Right. It sounds like a great opportunity for you to network and meet more people who might then be able to provide you with additional leads to find more work. What kind of industries do you see a lot of people taking part in this fractional community?
The criteria is you need to have at least 10 years of experience. Yes, and you need to have led a team before. So there's some criteria to be part of it, but that's it. And there isn't a particular industry, as long as there is some seniority in the roles that you did previously, and yes, then you'll be part of it.
I see. And what kind of, do you have to provide evidence that you have that kind of experience?
I think for me, because for a lot of it is through LinkedIn, through referrals, right? I'm a member, so that's basically what I think they were looking out for.
Well, we've got a message coming in from a listener who is keen to know the name of this fractional community, if you could share it.
It's called Portfolio Careers. Asia. They just started out maybe 1 year ago. It's been growing and it's quite a supportive community.
Right. And do they have a website?
Their website is, portfoliocareersinAsia.com.
Ah, very interesting. So I hope this will be of use to our listeners out there who are keen to explore fractional work. But as you mentioned, Cassandra, you do need to have a lot of experience to not just join the fractional community, but I suppose to be defined as a fractional worker. Is that what differentiates a fractional worker from a freelancer?
Okay, so maybe, of course, there's some difference between fractional work and a freelancer, fractional worker and a freelancer. I think for fractional work, at least this is what I observe, right? Generally, the client might not know what good looks like, right? Sometimes no experience in marketing or partnerships or in the skill set that you're great at. And that's when, the fractional hires might make sense. Probably to challenge them, to provide strategic inputs or probably work with the team to align on targets. And in our case, for OtterHalf, we execute and try to hit those targets. I think if you are a fractional CMO, right, or more of a leadership position, this person takes on the leadership role within the organization and accountable for the targets. But if you're a fractional marketing team, operating as that, then this team would then work on what a usual team would work on typically, but on a part-time basis, whether it's strategy, planning, execution, and once again, similarly accountable for the targets. For freelancer, so because I do work with freelancer in the past as well as now, right? Generally, the client already know what they want and they get freelancer to execute on what they want. So, but I think one thing, because I do speak to freelancers, right? So one thing that I found quite a common, feedback from freelancer is that there's hardly any feedback loop back to them on whether their output contributes to the business objectives or not. Right. I once spoke to a freelancer who was earning, actually they can be earning quite good money, to be honest, 7 to 8K a month. And I just started out at OtterHalf, right? And she wanted to join us. So I was really surprised, right? Because I'm like, why do you want to join me when, I don't even know whether I can afford you, at that point in time. And what this person told me was very interesting because she said that, she wants to do strategic work instead of, getting briefs from clients and not knowing, whether the output that she does actually helps the business performance. So, well, I guess, at the end of the day, my experience with freelancers might be different case by case basis. But I thought, and this has been coming out quite a bit from freelancers that I work with, it's really that, the feedback loop and also the fact that because the client really know what they want and they probably help with the execution.
And I mean, from your description, would you say that maybe freelancers are kind of perceived as being less skilled or maybe less able or less experienced than a fractional worker and might therefore be paid less per hour?
Not necessary, because I do know that freelancers who are very niche in what they do, right? Being paid a lot of money an hour. But I guess in terms of, fractional, generally there's perception that it would be more experienced, because there's terms like, fractional CMO, CHRO, right? So they're viewed or perceived as more experienced. But I don't think it makes the freelancer, seem less than. Because I do know, and I for a fact know that there are some freelancers that are earning very, very good money.
Okay. Thanks for sharing your experiences and your observations. I'm speaking with Cassandra Ong. She is founder of the fractional marketing agency OtterHalf. We've been discussing the differences between fractional work and freelancing. If you have any questions, do WhatsApp us at 963-11938. So, Cassandra, what has your experience been? What are the pros and cons of fractional work?
So, Wui Lynn, I built my business around fractional work. So I might be biased by giving you 1,001 cons and 1,001 pros and no cons. But okay, I'll probably focus on a few. So it really depends on whether you're representing a business or you're currently a job seeker. I think from a business point of view, the pros would be, you're able to get access to experienced hires at a part-time basis, now without the full-time cost. There's something also about not needing to, look at, employee benefits or even do regular performance management, right? For this fractional hire. I think another one that is a pro would be there's flexibility because they come in, they support the business on a part-time basis. and they aren't really your headcount. So the business have the ability to scale up and down what they need, or what your time according to their business needs. I think that's really from the business point of view in terms of the pros. I guess for a job seeker, I guess we all have seen and read the news about the current climate of retrenchment and layoffs, right? I thought it would end last year, but it's still continuing. And I think one thing that I would love to share is that I do have a friend who got laid off, C-suite level, telling me that it's so demoralizing to be, sending resumes and not getting any replies. Where he has also come to a point where he no longer puts his number of years of experience in the application, because the more number of years that he put in his application, the assumption by business, looking for people, right, is that you'll be more expensive. So I guess for people like him, with fractional work, it allows, him to work on very meaningful work, right, for businesses that really needs it. I think the other one, for a job seeker, and I think that's probably related to my experiences when I started fractional work, because I've always been working for in-house, right, marketing and partnerships. When I started fractional work, this is the first time I thought to myself, wow, I can actually provide value to so many companies and not just for one. And in my case, why stop at one when you can help many? So I guess these are really the pros. But for cons, from the business point of view, okay, so for OtterHalf, we are a fully remote company because it works for us, right? There are also reasons why certain companies are hybrid or require their employees to be in the office. But I do feel that, sometimes because we are considered like a external partner, right? We lack the in-person face time with clients. So for example, if you're an in-house marketing lead, your sales team can walk to you anytime, tell you a problem, and you guys can problem solve together, right? That's the beauty of being in office and having face-to-face meetings. But for us, sometimes because we are external partner, we get delayed information, despite having constant communication with the client. And I think for fast-moving companies, it happens even more frequently. Yeah, so I guess that's the cons lah.
Right, yeah, it's probably very hard to stay on top of things when you are not a permanent full-time member of staff at that company. Would you be able to share tips on how experienced senior professionals can get into fractional work?
So I learned on the job, given that the concept is fairly new, but I think some things I learned on the job which could apply to people who are listening in would be two tips, right? One is understanding your value prop. What are you known for when others work with you previously? What's your expertise and what's your strength? I think for me, I tried to marry what I love doing, which is my strength, with what I love doing with what I'm good at, with my expertise, right? And because sometimes what you love doing might not be what you're good at, right? And that helped me with pitching, because I do have clients telling me whenever I pitch and I tell you how we can value add, right? They tell me that, wow, they really like the passion that comes through when I pitch to them, and that probably helped with securing some of the deals lah. I think so really understanding your value prop. I think the other one is I've never really treated my personal branding so seriously until I started this, and I started to treat it more seriously, especially on LinkedIn. I guess for me, I saw some success when I leveraged on LinkedIn to announce about my situation of being laid off that led me to building OtterHalf. And because of that, I've gotten referrals, clients, and speaking opportunities from LinkedIn, right, which I haven't really seen on other platforms. So, being a marketer, I look at those numbers and started, doubling down on, creating content on LinkedIn, really to drive awareness around the work that my team and I do. Because if I don't do anything about it or I don't write about it, then it's very unlikely that other people out there would know lah.
Right.
So,
okay. So it sounds like you've got to start marketing yourself as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, we've run out of time, Cassandra, but it was such a pleasure hearing your experiences with fractional work, and we wish you all the best for next year. That was Cassandra Ong, founder of the fractional marketing agency OtterHalf.